It's Evan Rogers coming at you with the final video about nuclear weapons. 専門家はアメリカでは今でも原爆を落としたので戦争が終わったという考え方があります. Alright, so this is a basic sentence. 専門家は, so specialists ga, and then actually the sentence goes all the way down here. It's going to be blah 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 to hanashitemasu, have said. Specialists have said this whole quotation bubble. We see this frequently. NHK news articles, they always end this way. Some dude says something, and it's always 3 sentences and a quotation mark. I don't know why they do this. Just that's how every single news article ends. What are you going to do? Anyway, specialist says something. Okay, so let's look at what they say. The first sentence that they say is, America dewa, in America at least, ima demo, even now, kangai kata ga arimasu. There is a way of thinking. Kangai kata, stem of a verb, plus kata means way of verbing. So tabekata, way of eating, nomikata, way of drinking, how one does something. Ga arimasu. Kata technically means road. It can also mean human, so it's extra confusing. But like, so if you think about it, the way you do something, way is literally the word, like it's literally a street. You know, the path of how you do something, the way, go that way. So it's very similar to English. Kangai kata ga arimasu. There is that way of thinking. So X ga arimasu. There is in America, even now, ima demo, blah 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 blah. Kangai kata ga arimasu. There is a way of thinking, and this way of thinking is toyu kangai kata. A way of thinking. This toyu before kangai kata. There's no good translation. I mean, it means called or said or something like that. It's just a way of modifying the word kangai kata with the stuff that comes before it. I mean, honestly, there's just be aware that sometimes toyu just simply operates somewhat similarly to the no particle. Like, we're literally taking this whole quotation right here and just using that to describe kangai kata, and they're just putting a toyu there. So toyu kangai kata. It literally means is said. So this is a way of thinking that is said. The stuff that's in this quotation, which we haven't gotten to yet. So anyway, just you can largely ignore toyu to an extent. Maybe not ignore, but just understand that it's linking the two things. It's linking the two things. I don't know what that means. America de wa, at least in America, ima demo, even now, there is a way of thinking that toyu that. Genbaku o otoshita node, because they dropped the bomb. Somebody, we don't know who, because, we don't know who. We do know who dropped the bomb, but the subject is not mentioned in Japanese. Because America dropped the bomb, because whoever's perspective it is, the Americans dropped the bomb. That's the node. Node after a verb or a clause means because of that. It actually more closely means being that America dropped the bomb. Senzo ga wata, the war ended. Owaru is an intransitive verb, and that means the subject did the thing. So the subject ended, the war ended. Being that America dropped the bomb, the war ended. Toyu kangai kata, the idea, the way of thinking, the idea that because America dropped the bomb, the war ended. This idea exists even now in America. This is a hard one to disagree with. I mean, they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima like 3 days later or something like that. They nuked Nagasaki. I mean, how do you not surrender after that? And then I think between Nagasaki and the surrender, the Soviet Union declared war on Japan. Some people will say, doesn't that mean that the Soviet Union was the reason why that war ended? Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's it. But let's think about it slightly differently. The Emperor and Hideki Tojo and all these maniacs in power, they knew entire cities were being destroyed by a single bombing run, right? Like, I forget what the death numbers are, but it's at least 100,000 people, I think, died from these bombs. And the Emperor's like, well, let's just write it out. Sure, we don't have enough money for weapons, so we're just having our pilots kill themselves into boats. And they're, America's just, every couple of days literally erasing a city. Let's just keep going until the Soviets decide to declare war on us. What kind of a madman do you have to be doing this? Like, like these people are sick in the head. Like, I mean, it's also mad that we're dropping bombs on them. How can anyone have any sympathy for, I mean, obviously we have sympathy for the people of Japan, but like, the leaders of Japan were just letting cities be deleted while their underfunded military just literally sent people in airplanes to kill themselves. That's the degree to which these people were thinking. Does that make sense? That's how nuts the leadership in Japan was. Like, hey, every once in a while a city gets deleted. Let's keep going, guys. Anyway, the idea that this, like, the specialist isn't saying that this is such a crazy idea, but like ima demo, even today, like that ima demo really is making me think that this senmonka doesn't quite know what the hell he's talking about. Like, it's kind of like that argument, like, it's 2016, that's the way it's supposed to be. Oh, it's the year, whatever year it is. It's 2020. Of course is the right answer. No, their leadership was letting cities be destroyed. Like, oh, we lost a city. Oh, well, keep fighting. Like, whose interest do they have in mind, really? I'll stop ranting. Let's finish this article. しかし, however, 最近の教育で若い人たちの考え方は大きく変わってます. All right, this sentence should terrify everybody. However, しかし, 変わってます. Something is changing. Notice it's intransitive. The subject is changing. 大きく. Remember, 大きい is an E adjective. Change the E to a ku, and you end up with an adverb. So we get 大きく変わってます. Changing largely. Changing greatly would be a better translation. I mean, great and large mean the same thing, right? So, it is largely changing. It is greatly changing. Something is changing. What is that? 考え方は大きく変わってます. The way of thinking is changing greatly. Okay, so somebody's way of thinking about dropping bombs is changing to a large degree. 考え方 is being modified as 若い人たちの考え方. 人たち means people. 若い is an E adjective meaning young. So the young people. No kangaikata, the young people's way of thinking, wa okiku kotemasu, is changing dramatically. And then this is the scary part. Saikin no kyoiku de, with recent educational system. So just to make sure we understand that kyoiku is like schooling, education, schooling, training, instruction, culture, cultivation, and education. They're literally saying that with modern ways of educating kids, like things have changed. The opinions of the young people who don't really know better are changing. That should terrify every American, because what it means is that either the people before you were taught incorrectly or you're being taught incorrectly. If opinions are changing so dramatically in a country, and it's because of the education, that means somewhere along the lines, the education system was openly lying to people. I mean, there's no two ways around it. Either the education system was producing the opinion that it was necessary, and that was wrong, or it's that now the education system, which apparently has changed, Saiki no Kyoiku suggests it's been changed, that would suggest that the modern way of teaching is now teaching people in a way that generates the outcome of, oh, it's we shouldn't have done that. And that might be wrong. So somewhere along the lines, your education system has been lying to you. And in the same way, we should be terrified that the people in charge in Japan during World War II were so freaking crazy that they would just let cities be deleted every couple of days and be totally fine with that. And that they should have people just suicide into American planes instead of letting them just surrender and say, dude, we're not going to win this fight. In the same way that the leaders were letting that happen and thinking that way, your leaders are thinking that they can change your minds with education. I would highly recommend becoming very interested in what information is going into your brains. Start reading some books and listen to people who you don't agree with. I obviously don't know my public, and you guys know me. Honestly, the grammar here I didn't think was too difficult compared to some of the last series of videos. Was much more difficult. This one I thought was less difficult. I wanted to do this one for the political commentary. You know, we all feel bad about dropping the nukes, but we should also feel bad that the enemy, Japan was so crazy they were just letting their cities be deleted, right? I mean, that should terrify everyone as well. So be careful about people who claim to be, the guy in charge of you, because their interests don't always match up with yours. Be careful. Have a great day. Peace out. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you like, subscribe, and share this video to everybody you know and yell at them repeatedly until they subscribe as well. If you'd like to support me even more, head on over to patreon.com, where for just $1 a month, 3 cents a day, that's it, it's darn near free, you can help me financially keep these videos coming. And as a reward for your Patreon donations, you get access to all of the miscellaneous things that I produce to help out my own students who I teach in person, and also just things that I make for myself. And if you want a little bit more bang for your buck, head on over to Teespring, where you can get lots of fun clothing, mugs, stickers, cell phone cases, all that I've designed. More designs to come. I hope you have yourself a happy dappy day. Peace out. Just a quick history lesson about this guy. I was a raging liberal growing up. Basically a communist. Looking back on it, I was basically a communist. I didn't know it at the time. I was like, the government should do this, the government should do this, the government should do this. Is there a problem? Why doesn't the government do this? I obviously know the answer. So I was clearly nuts when I was young. That isn't the answer, because government can't actually do anything. It just steals money from this guy and gives it to somebody else. Anyway, I was in Japan, and all of a sudden on YouTube, this dude named Ron Paul shows up, and he smacked Rudy Giuliani across the face. I'm not a big fan of Rudy Giuliani today, even though I'm kind of a little bit more on the pro-Trump side than anybody might think. He just pimp slapped Rudy Giuliani in that debate, and it woke me up. I started diving into economics, and I started learning everything I could. Austrian economics. Go to Mises.org and check out all their videos. You will learn so much, and it's all free, 100% free. And that turned me into a libertarian, and actually just off the deep end, anarcho-capitalist. So sorry that I'm talking politics. And recently I've been learning about Christianity, so that's the next big thing, and stuff like that. So Eastern Orthodoxy is very fascinating, and I feel like it's a wonderful thing. And I'm learning more about politics because of Eastern Orthodoxy, actually. So this is all fascinating. Why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because I've had my mind changed so many times on so many issues. It's ridiculous. So if I can do it, you can do it. So just consider changing your mind once in a while. What's interesting is I don't know that many people who were libertarian that went to go liberal, but I know a lot of people who were liberal and went to libertarianism. Most people who go to libertarianism never go back, very infrequently. And you have to be careful. A lot of people who say they're libertarians just want to have that "I'm a cool libertarian" on their patch, like what's that? Glenn Beck. He claims he's a libertarian. He's not. And then Ben Shapiro says I'm libertarian. He's not. A lot of these people aren't. Anyway,